What's happening right now is banks don't want these houses. They don't want to sit on them. They don't want to repair them. They don't want to manage them. And when a bank owns a house, it's called real estate owned, REO properties. They typically batch these houses in waves. They don't just dump them. They put a little bit out and a little bit out and a little bit out. They price them to move, and they like to work through their preferred channels. But here's a key point. All of this happens before the media ever starts talking about it. Real estate investors are jumping in, snatching up the properties because they know the information that you don't until now. This video is a full guide to buying foreclosures and bank-owned properties that you never knew existed. After you watch this, you're going to have a full and complete understanding of how to find these foreclosures, how to get the money to buy them, and most importantly, the many mistakes that you can make when buying a foreclosure. So whether you're a first-time home buyer, a first-time investor, or you're just looking to get a great deal on a house, this video is for you. Now, let me be clear, this doesn't mean a housing crash, it just means more inventories come to the market. When more inventory comes to the market, we see a shift in leverage. It turns into more of a buyer's market. I'll share with you some numbers here in just a second, especially in one particular state that you'll find shocking, as I did when I seen the numbers. You just have to know this window of time typically doesn't last very long, and the people historically that win are the ones like yourself that are prepared and getting ready. And prepared and getting ready doesn't mean that you're going to be paying cash for a house, although you can pay cash for these foreclosures. A lot of people pay cash for these houses. They get loans for these homes. They get equity lines of credit on their personal home. They pay cash for these houses. They fix and repair these homes, and then they'll turn around and pull money out of it to use it as a rental, because a bank will typically loan you 80% of the improved value. Well, that's a whole nother video, but if you're just looking to purchase one of these houses, being really ready is to get your loan approval, not just a qualification. To go with a lender, we can refer you to one if you need one. We have several that we work with where you can get a loan. You can get an FHA loan, you get USDA loan, you can buy some of these houses for as little as $1,000 out of pocket. Unfortunately, many banks will not pay your closing costs. Oftentimes, they won't do any repairs on these properties either. They're pretty much as is, where is, but that doesn't mean that you're stuck buying the property. Please hear me on this one. When you go to purchase a foreclosure and you write an offer to purchase that house, typically it's a bidding process. Now, a lot of these homes, just like this one, they're put on the market with real estate brokerage companies. They're marketed for sale. The good news is, for the first 30 days, especially on FHA foreclosures, where somebody got an FHA loan to buy this house, there's a 30-day window that's only for owner occupants, which is really great, because if you're looking to buy a house to live in it, and you're willing to sign an affidavit at closing saying, yes, absolutely, I'm going to use this home for my personal residence, you get a heads up before any real estate investors. So to get ready and have your money right, whether you're investing, whether you're buying your first house, you just want to talk with a lender and get approved, not qualified. Approval is where you've pulled your credit. And I always tell everybody, use My FICO, use free credit report, anything like that. You can Google it. Just use something that shows you a tri-merge credit report. That's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Those are the three credit bureaus that lenders use. And you have to also know that if they pull a full approval on you, they're going to do a hard pull on your credit, and that will ding your score a little bit. But it's not going to ding it to where you go down 30, 40, 50 points. It may ding it to where you go down 10 or 15 points. The point I'm trying to make is, you want to make sure you're qualified, but most importantly, you're approved. Qualification is just talking with a lender. Approval process is when they verify your income, they verify taxes, they verify you got some cash in the bank, they verify your employment, that you can pay for the house, and they give you a piece of paper that says you're fully approved, and that's the only thing. If you're not approved, the banks will not even consider your offer. Now, once you're approved and they accept your offer, and keep in mind, I'll share with you how to find these properties. There's two ways, the quickest way. Once you buy the house or contract it, you're not buying it as is. It's so important to understand that. They don't want to make any repairs. They don't want to do anything. Before they put them on the market, they run through and say, what is the condition of this property? They have people go through it. They know what the price is based on the condition, and they're going to price it that way. But here's something that's really important. You're not buying the house as is unless you truly want to buy it as is. So go with me here. You'll do a home inspection on the house, but that home inspection is for your benefit. In other words, that lets you know everything and anything that could be wrong with the property. And here's one that people really overlook. They do an inspection of the home, but they don't do a plumbing inspection. And here's why it's so important to do a plumbing inspection. A lot of homes that are raised, they'll do an inspection, and these houses are winterized, meaning there's no water, there's no electricity. Some of the lenders will let you unwinterize the house on your dime, your expense, to unwinterize it. That means that you turn the water on, water flows through the lines. If the house is raised, you can go up underneath the house, you can see if there's any leaks. Here's what happens. A lot of these homes have sat empty for a year before the bank took possession or the banks did anything. That means if you've sat a house empty with no electricity on for 12 months, you guessed it, pipes bust. Now, busted pipes doesn't mean you have to buy the house. You don't have to buy it if you find something that's detrimentally wrong that's not going to work within your budget. On most states, you can get your deposit back. Some states are a little different. They basically say, nope, you put up your deposit, you said you're going to buy it, and you're out. So check your state, because every state is different. Many states you can put up a deposit, you don't buy the house, you get your deposit back. Most importantly, you're not forced to buy the house if there's something detrimentally wrong. So many people miss the mark because they're like, oh, I don't want to buy a foreclosure because the bank says as is. They do say as is after you close, but you've reserved the right to do an inspection for your protection so you know whether or not you're going to buy the house or not. Now, sometimes you'll put up a $1,000 deposit, and it's $1,000 well lost and well earned, if you will, if you find something detrimentally wrong with that property that saves you from buying it. Now, how you find these houses are not your traditional websites. When you go to a lot of these places like Zillow and Realtor.com, those are a couple of them, there's many of them out there, you'll look and see foreclosed properties, but what happens is they will literally put a property as foreclosed, but it is not on the market for sale. Most banks won't even give you the time of day or talk to you if it's not on the market for sale. However, that's not always the case. You can go through the proper channels. As I mentioned earlier, they want to do it through their channels and their system. And their system, 90% of the time, is they want to put the house out there for anybody to purchase it. They do it at your county courthouse. They will literally auction off the property. If you haven't ever experienced that, it's something really fun. You can call your county courthouse, and it's really exciting to see because you don't even know what's going on. They typically will do it once a week, literally in every county. So you can Google that and try to find that information out. It's pretty cool. But here's what happens. If you want to know a website, there's a website called findmyforeclosure.com. Findmyforeclosure.com. That's an affiliate link that I have with a company called foreclosure.com. It's been in business for over 20 years, and they show you every short sale, tax sale, pre-foreclosure, bankruptcy sale, you name it, every single property before it, most of the time before they even hit the market. So you can kind of get a heads up and a leg up, if you will. So write that down, findmyforeclosure.com. It's not free. It's a website. They got staff, they got to run, it costs money, there's overhead. I think it runs about 40 bucks a month. You don't have to, it's like a month-to-month thing, but most importantly, it'll give you every single property for sale. Now, I mentioned there's one state, and that state right now is Florida. In the state of Florida right now, they have a little over 30,000 pre-foreclosures. To give you some numbers, the pre-foreclosures in California is less than 1,800. In Texas, for example, it's less than 5,000. So yeah, you're looking at 30+ thousand properties. Now, pre-foreclosure technically is when someone is 30 days or more behind on their mortgage. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean the sky's falling, but this is why you have to understand, because you're probably thinking, why Florida? What's the deal? You have to know that when people buy second homes, and there was a rush to buy second homes, especially after you had this pandemic where people said, well, I can live anywhere now. I don't have to work, I don't have to go in the office. A lot of people moved. Most importantly, a lot of people bought investment homes. A lot of people bought Airbnbs. Unfortunately, there's a lot of cities and counties around the country, New Orleans, Louisiana is one of them, that says you can't do Airbnbs. So literally, I think it's pretty cool when you think about it. Netflix doesn't own theaters, Airbnbs, they don't own real estate, Uber doesn't own cars, but yet these are multi-billion-dollar companies. People jumped on that bandwagon. They bought second, and third, and fourth homes. And what happens is when things shift and things change and you can't rent out a property, guess what? You put it on the market to sell. And as a result, we're seeing more and more homes come on the market in Florida. You may be in the Florida market. If so, please chime in, tell us what you're seeing, because I'm hearing like down Fort Lauderdale, maybe around Orlando, there's a lot of homes being put on the market. And more homes on the market means leverage. That means prices come down, prices become more reasonable, and people looking in those areas, they have more inventory to choose from. Now, when you purchase a foreclosure, it's important to know that they run through the channels just like any other sale. Typically, it's 30 to 45 days. It's good to have an agent looking out for your best interest. If you need one, you can go to contactwayne.com. I'll put the link here. There's no obligation to use my services or anybody, but if you need an agent, I've got tens of thousands of agents all around the country. We vet those agents to make sure they're good, top professionals that do a good job for customers and clients like yourself. At the end of the day, it boils down to a closing. It's really simple. You have to know, though, do you have to pay title? or does the seller pay title? Is there clear title on the property? What's really good to know is when you buy a foreclosure is they typically do everything within their power to make sure there's no back taxes, liens, encumbrances, and you get a simple, free and clear warranty deed on the property. So when you take possession of it, you know no one's going to come knocking on your door. No lenders are going to come knocking on the door. Once you've bought that property and closed on it, it is your baby. So I hope you like this information so far. If so, give me a thumbs up. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. My name's Wayne Turner. For 30 years, I've been in the real estate business. I have bought, sold, flipped, helped thousands of people buy and sell their houses. I've owned real estate brokerage companies. I just share that with you so you can have the confidence knowing that what you learn from me is from actual real life, hands-on experience. So let's jump into some more. Now, another key point that's really exciting is real estate brokerage companies have to be paid. And when you hire an agent, it used to be years ago where the listing company paid the agent that was working for you to bring you as a buyer for the house. That's totally different now. Now, the way it works is you got to sign a piece of paper that says, hey, it's a buyer-broker agreement, and I've got to pay that buyer's agent to represent me. The good news is when it comes to banks, banks cooperate fully with all of these real estate brokerage companies. So they compensate your agent for you on your behalf. So when you close on a piece of property like that, you'll have closing costs. Sometimes the bank will pay your closing costs. That typically runs 3.5%. You can get an FHA loan that'll run you 3.5% for the down payment. What it boils down to is you can get a good deal on these houses, whether you're a first-time investor, first-time home buyer, or just wanting to get a great deal on these homes. Be sure and check it out, do your research, do your homework, and most importantly, have fun doing it. Don't be stressed, don't be freaked out. Just take time in the process to make sure that you're comfortable doing what you're doing when it comes to buying a foreclosure house. I'm Wayne Turner. Thank you for watching. Until next time, God bless.